So for fun, are you recording?
Yes, it's coming on. Yeah, it has just come on. Yes. Yeah, the recording has started now, Mariam, if you can see it. Okay, the recording has started. Okay, so we're back from our Maghrib prayers now. Like I said, we're going to continue. Okay, we're going to continue doing the how to call it doing the exam type question on life cycle costing, and that's CAMS company. Okay, so we're going to look at CAMS company. So the first part of CAMS company is a written part, which is on um, the various stages of life cycle and how they are applied to the case, how they are applied to the product Fentiga. Okay, so we're going to look at that. Then the second part of the question is about calculating the expected life cost of this Fentiga. So we're going to calculate all the costs relating to this Fentiga from development stage to decline stage. Okay, that's the second part we're going to do. So let's discuss the first part. I'm going to give you the model answer for that. I'm going to give you the model answer for that. So let's discuss it. So if you are tasked to answer this question, the first part, what approach are you going to use? What approach are you going to use? Adese, you've joined us. I think you've joined us since before with the break, yeah? Can you tell us if you have to answer the A part, how are you going to approach it? Adese? Adese, are you with us? Or you have network problem as well today?
Yes, Mr. Fofana.
Yes, Adese. Are you with us?
Hello?
Hello, yes.
Yeah,
Are you with
I'm just
us?
joining now. Yeah.
Okay. Have you laid hands on this question? I have shared it on the WhatsApp group, just like Omar suggested. Have you seen the question? So if you have not taken a screenshot of the question, please use the slides that have been shared on the WhatsApp group. I've shared it during the break, okay?
Oh, okay. Let me go check it.
Yes, have you got the question with you?
Yeah, not as of now,
Okay.
but let me go check it.
Okay. The first part says explain each stage in the life cycle of the Fentiga and the issues that the management team will need to consider at each stage. Your answers should include a diagram to illustrate the product life cycle of the Fentiga. Okay, so that's what the question is asking for. Okay, so they say, okay, you can make reference to it. Can anyone try? Can anyone try? How are we going to approach this, Omar?
I think this question we are going to start from the development stage.
Okay, so the first thing you are going to do is
Life cycle development.
you are going to draw the diagram of the product's life cycle. You have to draw that. Okay, that's really important. You draw it and you label all the stages. Okay, so you draw it and you label all the stages, and the stages are 5, isn't it? Okay, so the stages are 5. So just like we've seen on the slides, the how to call it the axis will be sales and profitability and time. Okay, so you're going to plot sales and profitability on time. Okay, so those will be the two axes, right? So as we can see, we have 5 stages, and those stages are development, introduction, growth, maturity, and decline. So you will draw your chart, plug in those stages, And then the next thing you should do is under the chart, you look at each stage one by one. If you do your first stage, stage one, development, you have to explain what is the development stage. Okay, so simply we know the development stage is the stage whereby the product is being developed. Okay, this is before it comes to the market. So this stage can contain some research and development. It can contain some how to call it production, whereby machines and everything could be acquired. Okay, so you mentioned that. After mentioning that, then you have to also state how costs and revenues are going to be felt at this stage. Are we going to make, are we going to make any sales revenue at this stage? Are we going to incur any cost? Okay, and if you are going to incur any cost and sales revenue, try to make reference to them in the question. Okay, because this is a complete case study which was given to us, so we need to make reference to it. Okay, so if we have to talk about cost for the development stage, are we given any cost in the development stage on this question? Are we given any cost that we can talk about when we are describing the development stage? Do we have any costs relating to development stage as per the case study? Okay, I've projected it.
Yes. So, yes, there is an 500,000 development cost, I think.
500,000 development. So that's development of the product. Okay, is that all?
No, the machine to produce the new product.
Okay, they have to acquire a machine, of course, during this development stage, which is costing 175,000. Okay, so like I said, first thing, draw your chart and label all the stages. Second thing, start stage by stage. First stage is development stage. Explain what the development stage is. Okay, explain what's going to happen to costs and revenues at this stage. Okay, so first thing is the costs. We know that the costs that are going to be incurred for the development of this Fentiga will be what? 675,000. So that will include the development of the product and the acquisition of the machinery that's going to be used for the product. Okay, so you mentioned that, the examiner is more than happy. Okay, and then the last part is, of course, the sales. Are we going to have any revenue at this stage?
No.
No, we're not going to have any revenues, because the product that is supposed to give us revenue, that is supposed to provide us revenue, has not come into being. Okay, the only time you make sales is when you produce, but you have not produced yet at this stage. Okay, so you talk about that. So then you move to the next stage. The next stage is what? The introduction stage. Okay, so explain what the introduction stage is. You could say the introduction stage is the stage whereby the product is launched at the market. Okay, this is the stage whereby the products, gets its initial, marketing. The customers will come to know about the product at this stage. Okay, that's when it's introduced. Okay, so then you go ahead and explain the costs and the revenues that can be generated in this stage. That's in the introduction stage. Okay, and you make reference to the case. Yeah, so the costs that are associated with this stage will be the costs in the early months, isn't it? In months 1 and 2. And of course, the revenues will also be the revenues that would relate to between months 1 and 10. Okay, so is this clear? Okay, is this clear?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. So let's move. So then you go to the next stage. Like I said, I'll share the model answers with you, but I just want us to quickly go through the answer, how we're going to approach it. So the next, we're going to go to the next stage, which is the growth stage. So the growth stage also, you need to explain what this stage is about. This is the stage whereby the product is becoming known in the market. The customers get to like the product, and as such, its sales will start increasing. Okay, its sales will start increasing, but the cost also will increase. Why will the cost increase? Because this is the period whereby advertisements and promotions have to be executed so that products can be well known in the market. Mind you, is only at the growth stage, so it's not yet well known. Okay, so this stage, of course, sales will be significant, okay, depending on the type of the product, but the cost will also be high. Okay, so you make reference to some of the costs and some of the revenues that could be generated at this stage. So if you look at the first part of the question, okay, you will see to it that the months between 11 to 30, okay, look at the sales demand. That's the sales demand per month. Okay, you have between month 11 and 20, the sales demand per month is 300. Between the months 21 and 30, the sales demand is 850. Okay, so you see what's happening? It is growing rapidly. Okay, so the first section, that's between months 1 and 10, could be considered as the introduction stage. Okay, so that's why you have 190 units per month. Okay, but after that stage, you will naturally go to the growth stage, which is between months 11 and months 30, as you can see. So you see, from 190 per month, it has grown to 300 per month, and then to 850 per month. Okay, so you need to mention this in your explanation. Okay, so make reference to the case as much as possible. That's very, very, very important. Then, after the growth stage, what is the next stage? What is the next stage?
The maturity.
The maturity stage. Okay, so after the growth stage, we go to the maturity stage. Okay, so what's going to happen at the maturity stage? What's going to happen?
The volume of sales tend to decrease. At the volume
maturity stage, it will sales must have reached their maximum level at maturity stage.
Okay, at maturity stage, sales will have reached its peak.
Maximum level.
Its maximum level, okay? So that means at maturity stage, sales will be extremely high, isn't it?
It will be high and stagnant.
No, it will not start stagnating until maybe we reach the decline stage. But at maturity stage, yes, it will go up, and yeah, of course, it will stagnate at some point. Yes. Okay. So what's going to happen? Sales will be very high at this stage, but the cost will start going down. Why? Because promotion costs will have to reduce at this stage because the product is well known. Okay, so the maturity stage is the best stage, just like I said. Even in our human life, this is the stage of adulthood. That's post-university. After you have got your degree, you get married, you have your house, you have your car, and everything is moving fine for you. Okay, so the maturity stage is just like that. But listen, after that, everything starts to fall apart. And then that's the decline stage. So you mentioned the decline stage. The decline stage is the stage whereby the taste for the product is fading away by customers. And as such, the sales demand starts to diminish, and sales revenue will also diminish. And of course, profitability will definitely be low. Okay, at this stage also, cost will be low because, like I said, except with the direct cost, direct cost will never change at any stage. Okay? The direct cost will always remain as they are, because the more you produce, the more you incur the direct cost. Okay, but then the overheads like advertisement, promotional costs, and so on and so forth will reduce. Okay, but then sales will start decreasing. So the best thing to do is at maturity stage, you start planning ahead. You start to do something with your product and try to kind of modify it so that you can rebrand it and then try to, bring it back to the market so that it does not go through the decline stage. Is this clear?
Yes, Mr. Fofana. But the advertisement, can you read it to the introduction, or it should be at the growth stage?
Actually, the advertisement could start even from the introduction. Yes, it could start from, actually the advertisement will happen at two stages. That's at the introduction stage. That's when you will start advertising, and of course the growth stage. But at maturity stage, even if you're going to do advertisement, it's going to be very, very minimal, because this is the stage when the product is already well known. Okay, when your product is well known, then there is no need to advertise, because you're just going to waste money, isn't it?
Yes, when you are answering the question, like for the growth stage, can you start from month 11 to month 30?
For the growth stage, to start from month 11 to month 30, correct, yes. And then the maturity stage, as you can see, the maturity stage will be between months 31 to 70. Why? Because this is the stage where the monthly sales demand is at its peak, 1,500 units per month. Can you see? From month 31 to month 40, and this is a long period. It's about 40 months, isn't it? From 31 to 70 is about 40 months. So usually the maturity stage takes longer period, okay, before people will start losing the appetite for the product. Okay, is that clear?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Excellent, excellent. Okay, so like I said, the decline stage, you will explain what the stage is about and what's going to happen to the sales demand of the product at this stage, and what's going to happen to the cost. Okay, so like I said, generally sales will come down, okay, and the cost will of course come down at this stage, because this is the stage whereby the product, the taste for the product is definitely diminishing. Okay. Okay, so any questions before we move to the part B? That's the calculation part. Any questions? Any questions? Okay, so we're going to move to the second part, which is the last part we're going to do for the day, and that's answering the calculation part, okay? The B part. Are we ready? Okay, so I think let me start with a new video so that the videos are not too long. Let's stop this.